That's part 3 of God's story, told by me, my testimony. I was just rambling a little bit. I need to, because it's hard. When I was a teenager, we came to America. You know, my family didn't want to do me, talk to me, because they just thought that I was just lying and making all this crap up about my brother. And I come to find out, when he had kids of his own, he did the same thing. You know, still after that nobody even come and say anything to me. That was a shame, but that's okay. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. He had 9 kids. A lot of them girls. Didn't even have custody of them. I ain't saying this to dog him. Just painting this picture that, you know, all the stuff that he did that was wrong, and he used to rob places and stuff, you know, but they won't believe his word over mine. Gotcha. I'm just painting a picture how it was for me. You know, may God bless him and hope he comes. He knows about Jesus, so hopefully he comes back to God. I don't know. You know, but I pray for him. I'm supposed to pray for you, you know what I mean? So I didn't have that. I was on the streets. Then I got, you know, so I met my baby's daddy. He just beat the crap out of me. I tried to escape. It's hard to do. He found me 3 times. One time he showed up at my grandma's house and with a shotgun, so I had to get back in the thing. I had to get back in the car. So I tried to escape, you know. It's not that I wasn't strong enough to leave. Oh, I did. Because, you know, I fight back. I've always been the one to fight back. Like, I ain't gonna take your crap. You know, I've always had that mindset, strongness. I always felt alone, though. But I always made through everything. Even when I was homeless, you know, I was always taken care of by some means or another. Always had weird things happen to me, though. You know, I'll get to that part in a minute, but let me finish just the heartache on it. So I ended up finally escaped from him. He got really messed up on some kind of drug. I don't know. I think he may have smoked crack. I don't know. But remember him passing out, and he had just had my baby on my lap, and he beat the crap out of me and stuff, and I had about enough, and he finally passed out. But before he passed out, he took that double-barrel shotgun and fired it right at my head with my baby sitting right on my lap. She's about 3 months old. Went right like this, right over her head and right by my head and into the wall. Passed right out after it. I jumped up and down on the bed to make sure he was asleep. Mind you, he had been arrested and he would just sign himself right back on out. His mama had money, so she would just come and he just signed himself out. I never understood why the police would let people sign themselves back out after they just beaten somebody, especially when he just beat their whole face up with a crowbar. I had to be hospitalized for that. Well, I escaped. I stole his car, packed up the baby, drove all the way from Greenville, South Carolina, and ended up in Oak Grove, Kentucky with $2 to my name. Was trying to find a job, had a baby in the car, didn't know nobody, didn't have anybody to babysit. So I ended up at this strip club. I was hiring waitresses. I know that was a job I needed to get because it gives you money to do anything, but I had nobody to babysit. And then I also had to go inside for a job interview. So I had to leave my baby in the car. I walked aside, told the lady everything. She let me bring the baby in, and she said, "You'll babysit for me." I ended up being a dancer. A lot of people call them strippers. There is such thing as strippers. I did exotic dancing, and I'm not trying to say that to make myself better than those people, but out of the 10 years that I danced, I've only maybe met 10 females who did not do extra dirty deeds while dancing. I just strictly just made my money just to pay for my baby and to go home. Within 1 week, though, I was able to get a trailer, fill the house up with furniture, have groceries, have a pallet of water, light turned on, so I was not living in a car. And I was able to pay for daycare for my baby. I say about 2 months after that is where I met my husband. He was in the Army, stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. We got married. Man, he was my whole world. You know, I used to meet that soulmate. He's your everything. But I don't think y'all begin to understand. I didn't have nobody. Nobody. I didn't even have family members. Nobody's never loved me. Nobody's ever liked me. So when I say he was my everything, y'all can't even begin to understand. When you think about Jesus, when you think about God, that's how that man was to me in an aspect, because he's all I ever had. The only love I ever felt from anybody, anything. He adopted my daughter. We had 2 boys. I had a miscarriage in between the 2 boys, stillborn. I had those depot shots, and I guess while my oldest boy was 6 months, that shot slowly killed the baby that I didn't even know I was pregnant with. I didn't know I was pregnant. I just went to the bathroom one day and out popped this baby. And it was just stillborn dead. I guess that shot that you get just slowly, the chemicals just slowly just killed off that baby. So then I had my other son right after that. So my 2 boys are exactly 2 years and 2 months apart. But as soon as we got married, that's when the war, 9/11 happened. We was only married 6 years. He was deployed 4 times in our marriage. One time was just a regular trip to Egypt. The other times were actual war. He planned on getting out the military, but they stop-lossed him. He was legally out the military that day, but you have to do what your company does. So he was technically out of the military, let's just say at exactly 9 o'clock. But his company deployed to Iraq at 8:30. So that meant he had to get on the plane and go to Iraq, because technically he was still in, and because his company got deployed, he had to go where his company went. So that's what stop-loss means, if y'all don't know. So he was stop-loss 30 minutes before being out of the Army. Then he was killed in Iraq. Right before Father's Day. Our youngest one was 1.5 years old. And my world crashing down. I gotta stop.